Free speech, a principle that supports the free expression of ideas and opinions without fear of retaliation, censorship, or legal sanction, is a recognized human right and is legally protected in many countries around the world. But of course, there are limitations to free speech. An often repeated example of speech not protected by freedom of expression laws is shouting fire in a crowded place. The intent behind this would obviously be to cause panic, and it has the potential to get people hurt. But the example is not just a hypothetical analogy. People have convinced crowds that there is a fire, and sometimes with deadly results. Today, we'll be looking at one such case. In 1913, Calumet, Michigan was steeped in labor strife. The copper mining companies were in the middle of a standoff with their miners, many of them immigrant workers. Of the 15,000 men working in the mines, 9,000 belonged to a labor union, the Western Federation of Miners. The union membership voted in favor of demanding union recognition from mine management and requested a conference with employers to negotiate wages, hours, and working conditions. The Western Federation of Miners also voted to declare a strike if management would not agree to these talks. The requests were refused, and on July 23, 1913, the strike was declared. By Christmas, the strike was 5 months underway. For Christmas Eve, the Western Federation of Miners sponsored a party for miners and their families to be held at Italian Hall, a commercial and recreational building in Calumet. The party was held on the second floor of the building and hosted over 400 people. At some point, someone in the crowd yelled fire, causing a panic as everyone tried to evacuate the building. There was a fire escape on the floor, although it was poorly signposted and required climbing through the windows. Instead, much of the 400-strong mass surged towards the only other way out, a steep stairway. The stampede towards this choke point resulted in many being crushed or trampled. This led to the deaths of 73 people, 59 of whom were children, killed on Christmas Eve. Oddly enough, though, no one was burned or suffered smoke inhalation. The subsequent investigations were hampered by the fact that many of the people present were immigrant miners who did not speak English. It soon became clear, though, that no one had seen any fire in any part of the building, and sure enough, there was no fire damage to the building. The fire log of the fire department who responded to the scene states simply, "No fire." So had someone made a tragic mistake in yelling fire? Or was it a ploy to cause panic and disrupt the workers' party? This has been the cause of much debate, because to this day, the identity of the man has never been confirmed. The Western Federation of Miners accused anti-union forces of intentionally causing the disaster by sending someone in to yell fire. This accusation is based on a small number of eyewitness accounts that say the man who shouted fire was wearing a button on his coat with the Citizens Alliance logo. The Citizens Alliance was an organization that opposed trade unions and strikes, and it's widely believed they were attempting to disrupt the party for striking workers, although once again, it wasn't confirmed with hard evidence. Members of the Citizens Alliance responded by forming a relief committee and raising $25,000 for affected families. The families would not accept this money, and the relief committee claimed the president of the Western Federation of Miners, Charles Moyer, had forbidden them from doing so. Members of the committee visited Moyer at a hotel he was staying in, shot him, and kidnapped him. They put him on a train and told him never to return to Michigan. After receiving medical attention in Chicago, Moyer held a press conference where he showed off his gunshot wound and vowed to return to Michigan in spite of the threats, to continue the work of the Western Federation of Miners. Unfortunately, when the copper mine strikes ended in 1914, it was in defeat for the Union. The bitter 9-month struggle saw the Western Federation of Miners run out of money, and many miners were forced to return to work, the hardships of winter proving too much of a burden for their families to bear. The mining companies demanded all returning workers turn in or destroy their union membership cards, and the union was effectively driven out of the area. And so the workers saw no justice. Forced to relent to the rough treatment and conditions they had sought to alleviate, forced to submit to the organizations many were sure played a hand in the deaths of their families. To these workers, the mining companies had crushed the strikes and snuffed the life out of the union, figuratively and literally.